think we made progress.
Oh, yeah, when they turned it around.
It's good.
Oh, okay, that's our plan.
See, this is on the back side of the gym size.
Thanks for coming.
Building 5 blocks of this stuff.
Yeah.
Basket.
Oh, yeah. Build it big and they will come.
Wait till your property taxes go up.
Oh, okay.
For
me?
Snow removal.
Anything wrong there? Where's my agenda? That's the wrong
You
lever.
never trunk it that much.
Wrong lever. There's the one.
Yeah.
Put it back there.
You got the man that you're here.
I know I have an agenda somewhere. Where's it at? All right, well, call the meeting to order. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Andy, would you please take roll?
Councilman Mattson.
Here.
Councilman Montoya.
Here.
Councilman Kaufman.
Here.
Councilman Allison.
Present.
Mayor Graves.
Here. And I do not have a copy of the agenda right here. Somehow, I do not have a copy, so I'm looking around the shoulder.
We have one addition to the agenda.
Okay,
Under new business, number 3, bid approval for the south substation transformer. Can I put that paperwork up there?
substation. How did you want it worded? South substation?
Bid approval for the south substation transformer.
Okay. All right, you have before you an agenda with an amendment. I would ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda with the addition, item 3 in new business.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. You also have before you, moving on to the consent agenda, the items in the packet and the electronic versions. For the purpose of discussion, I would entertain a motion to approve and place to record the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Questions, Will?
Already had them answered.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Under the planning and zoning, what's this violation, potential violation of 608 9th Street?
So that's in the building next door. We've had multiple complaints on people living the storefront area of the property has been turned over to.
We're talking about, that's a commercial building and they're living in it and you have to go through certain processes. They didn't ask for a variance or anything like that. Mr. Vermont, I had visited about it. I think it was last Thursday or Friday, we called the owner's attorney and visited with him about the process and what had to be done. So
Okay. Thank you.
I guess I do have a question, if you don't mind.
Yep, of course.
Referring to Mr. Weaver, where are we at on the lease with the Dallas Mount hangar?
Well, I don't know where they're at on it as far as even getting it appraised and negotiating a purchase price for it. So it's hard to get, that cart way ahead of it. I know they were gonna be out there last week. I don't know if that actually transpired.
Yes,
And then what happens is, then they have to take some time to get us an appraisal. We provide them some comps or some sales from out there, or information of who they needed to contact. Candy did. And then they get it appraised. Then it has to be reappraised, what they call. It's looked at again. I'm sure that the aeronautical board, the state of Wyoming, looks at it. And then after that's all done, we present it to Mr. Mount.
And don't get me wrong, I only ask that because myself and Mr. Kaufman are getting up to speed on.
No, I don't have any problem with it. That's just what transpires as far as how you go about
the process.
Yes, sir. And I think it's taken longer because they had some times to meet with Mr. Mount, and then the weather changed
no,
some.
they're all done. I think they're waiting.
No, but originally they were gonna meet, I think, in December, so.
Thank you. All I had.
Candy, still waiting on security cameras for pickleball.
Yes. We're just hoping by spring.
That's what I'm saying, it's coming fast, and a little, everybody's gonna start vandalizing everything again, so. Had one more, Chief Wilson. So I was just glancing out on your last paragraph here, the bids for the last patrol vehicle, is that the pickup we're still waiting on?
No, the pickup is,
Is this separate, this
it
something?
may show up in the next year. It basically was canceled and they're gonna rebuild for 23 models. So they had ordered extra Tahoes at that one time, to where we had the one workshop or something where it's trying to get the truck.
He said to go back to them and.
So I went back to them. Daimler Chrysler said they're not building last models. We could get on the list for 23s that are coming and wait again to see if we get one of them. So they still had that Tahoe. Had them work up a bid just to get a bid number on that. So we do have a bid. They're the only ones who turned anything in. So we're kind of, again, in limbo of, do we wait for the truck that might come in the 23s, or there is a Tahoe that they ordered extra, they just haven't sold, and it's kind of, if we want it, we can have it.
That's a bid we'll be in the coming meetings, look and compare it.
We have the bid. It is higher than what we had for the trucks and Durangos. We do have the bid already. We were gonna try setting up a workshop, I believe, to figure out if we're gonna move forward with that or what the next step
Okay, I'll
is.
just wait then, at that time, it's fine.
I do want to give kudos to the street department for getting out there during the last two snowstorms. if you'll share that.
I will. Thank you.
I had calls on that, or
I-
texts.
I had calls, people saying they appreciated it
Yeah,
also.
Yeah, they had a busy January.
they did.
Reflected in overtime, wow.
Reflected in the overtime. Okay, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Raise taxes.
Don't even kid.
Don't go there, huh?
Candy, in our last, or in the meeting we had on our water study, we determined we have some locations that we need some meters on, rather large locations and our own property included. Coming in the near future, is that something the water department can give you an update to give us where he's at in getting these meters?
Sure, I did meet with Rick on, cause it's, fairground property and then the golf course. And so I did meet with Rick, so he's kind of getting, information ready. And, well,
Before the usage starts going up and we
Yep.
miss again.
Yep.
And we have to look at our own, some of the parks of ourselves too, right?
yes. So we'll start with, probably the fairgrounds and the golf course, because that's a revenue loss right there for us, where we'll start with them. Definitely is needed, so we can apply for grant funds.
Yeah, no, that'd be great if we can, or I guess if it's on yours, that'd be great. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on the consent agenda items? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Elected officials and appointments. Last month, we neglected to appoint the fire chief. He's not here tonight. I spoke with him on the phone. Chief Glasson would like to stay chief. He's at a training and said that he could miss the training, which he would have to make up at a later date. Or if it was okay with me, I could tell you that we had spoken, if you had questions, to direct them to him, but he would like to retain his position if that's the will of the council. So I make a recommendation to keep Bob Glasson as our fire chief. How do we do that? Do we need a motion then, or?
Motion to approve your appointment.
Okay,
I make a motion to approve Fire Chief Bob Glasson.
Second.
is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those same sign, motion carries. Moving on to petitions, memorials, proclamations, and public comments. Item number 1, we have a proclamation for Water Wastewater Operators Week. Town of Wheatland proclamation, Wyoming Professional Water and Wastewater Operator Week is February 6th through the 12th. Whereas the Wyoming Certified Drinking Water Treatment, Drinking Water Distribution, and Wastewater Collection and Wastewater Treatment Operators are professionals that perform vital services for our state. And whereas Wyoming's professional operators protect public health by removing contaminants from our drinking water, delivering safe drinking water to our taps, efficiently delivering wastewater to treatment facilities, and correctly treating wastewater. And whereas Wyoming's professional operators properly operate and maintain water and wastewater equipment and facilities, ensuring the longevities of one of the state's largest infrastructure investments. And whereas clean and safe drinking water and our pristine natural environment is central to our quality of life and Wyoming's future. And whereas it is fitting to recognize the honor and the work and professionalism of the operators in protecting the public's health, our environment and water resources, and the water and wastewater infrastructure of the state of Wyoming. Thank you to our local operators, Rick Keck, Brian Kraft, John Zakowski, Warren Laup, and Jennifer Hatton. Now, therefore, I, Brandon Graves, Mayor of Wheatland, do declare February 6th through the 12th, 2023 as Wyoming Professional Water and Wastewater Operator Week in the town of Wheatland. And none of them are here to get the accolades.
They're the same training Bob is.
It could be.
No, I really didn't, actually. I took him to breakfast Friday, so we're good.
Good. Good. No, it's just a,
Proclamation.
yep. A couple of thank yous, you can call notice to in there. Oh, and even Owen Toth has given us a thank you.
Sanitation crews?
Yep.
Yep.
Is there any other public comment at this time?
If I could address the council, please. Go ahead. I'm interrupting you.
No, you're good.
I just wanted to introduce myself to the council. My name is Annie Petrosky. I'm the new community prevention specialist for Platte County. I'm housed out of public health. I'm brand new, starting November of this last year. So I'm just kind of getting to know the office, but I wanted to just briefly talk to you guys about the prevention program and kind of let you know what's going on with prevention here in Platte County. I'm certainly hoping that the town of Wheatland will be involved with some of those projects and programs to help our community. So just to kind of give you guys a little bit, I won't talk long, but just to kind of let you know what has gone on. The last time Platte County had prevention through the state was back in 2017. And then that program ended. The current program is through the Wyoming Department of Health. So it's housed in the state office. Each county has a community prevention specialist. The monies are going through public health and are distributed to the counties. So our county commissioners accepted those grant monies, and so they're housed at that level, and then they're used for 5 areas that I have to address with that funding. Underage drinking, youth marijuana use, adult overconsumption, opioid and other drug misuse and abuse, suicide prevention, and tobacco prevention and cessation. So I have to address all 5 of those areas, but I have quite a bit of latitude with what we can use those monies for. I wanted to bring up the opioid and other drugs. It's been in federal news. A lot of the big drug companies were sued by several states, and Wyoming was one of those states. And so they recently received a settlement. And so I believe Platte County received about $150,000 in that opioid settlement money. It's up to the commissioners how that's spent. I certainly want to reach out to our local entities and law enforcement and see where we can use that money to best serve our community. So definitely we want to look at opioids in Wheatland and see where we have a need. I know a lot of people are saying in the treatment realm of things. So definitely want to look at that. We also have a new coalition that's just started. Our last meeting was last month. We meet the 3rd Wednesday of the month in the basement of the library. So we're just getting going with that. Our coalition so far has really seen our need be in mental health, suicide prevention. So that's probably the first area we'll be looking at. I was recently trained in QPR, which is a suicide prevention training. And so that means I can train community members. Wyoming is still #1 in the nation for suicide. And so certainly it's something that I think we need to address with all communities. And so just want to put this out there. I'm trained in that. I'm willing to provide the training. If Town of Wheatland staff would want to be trained in that, it's an 1.5-hour training, teaches you the warning signs of suicide, something I would be very willing to provide free of charge to the Town of Wheatland. Also looking at a mental health first aid training coming in March. I believe that's gonna be March 10th at the Fire Training Center. I can have up to 30 people at that, and that's an all-day training. So just wanted to introduce myself. I can be reached through public health. If there's areas you want us to address, that'd be great. Anyone is welcome to join the coalition and be part of that. And look forward to working with you all. Does anyone have questions for me?
Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thanks,
you.
Amy. Welcome.
Tracy DeWright, Platte County Economic Development, and I just wanted a little feedback on the health and wellness information I sent. Is that, okay?
Yeah.
I just
Excellent.
wondered,
That was you.
that was me,
I like it.
so, okay.
It's easier to read, it flows better, and it's not all graphs. And I appreciate that. It just, it
So do you want
catches,
the graphs too, or
it catches
just
your
that?
attention better.
You know what? I'd just be happy with just this.
I prefer
personally.
this.
Yeah, this is
Personally.
really
There you
good, Tracy.
Well, I'm just to let you know, I'm gonna keep up with the graphs. If you don't want me to send those, I don't have to send those, or I can still send them and you can look at them if you want to, but I think that way, if I keep up with the spreadsheets and the trends and the graphs, that way, if you ever have a question about, hey, what happened last year, it's all up to date, we have it, and it would be available to you. I can send it or not send it, whatever. But if you like this format of more just kind of a snapshot, I'll just keep updating that as well month to month, so you can go back and compare them.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I just wanted a little bit of feedback if it was what you were thinking or not.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Hi, I'm Kathy Wilson, and I'm living at 1557 Walnut Street, over by 16th. And my cousin Cindy was the clerk treasurer for years, so I asked her this question. She said to bring it to you guys. I'm overrun with mice. They're getting so bad that in this cold weather, they're jumping up in the exhaust on the furnace and roasting themselves in the exhaust pipe. So I've covered it with screen to keep them out. But what does the town do about mice? I mean, I went to the Weed and Pest, and I've got an applicator's license, so I bought some good stuff and put in my garage and out in the yard. So during these snowstorms, I have no cat tracks, none. There's no natural control over in my block for these rodents, and they are bad. And Cindy's gonna get really upset if they eat the wiring on her new Cadillac. They're in the garage, you know, they had that house since 1968. We've never had a mouse problem before. Nothing in that garage to attract mice. They'll feed. I keep my pet feed in the house, my dog food. So, just curious. Never had that problem before. When I was young, my aunt lived down at the house I have at 1506 11th. Had a mayor back then when the town hall was up where the fire hall is. Cindy just went to work. She doesn't like to talk about this event. My aunt shot a rat at her trash can. A good sized, slick-tailed river wharf rat. She took him up his room on the mayor's desk because they'd eliminated all the cats in our neighborhood. Because you have rats, mice, cats, the snakes follow, then you get the plague. So with my million mice down at 1557, I'm just curious. Never had this problem because I always had cats. You know, there was always a couple, three neighborhood cats around. So just curious.
What happened to the cats in your neighborhood?
I don't know what happened to the cats in my neighborhood. I've only lived there a year. There was always, you know, one or two feral cats in the alley. You know, took care of the problem. Down at 1506, I'm not living there full time, but I come and go. Always for half a dozen cats down there. No cat tracks. And I'll admit, I'm one of those people that throws out a little extra feed when I'm living down there for my big yellow old tomcat that's probably died because he's like 20 years old. But, you know, my heat guy and the plumber said, you realize you got mice running all over your backyard? I'm like, haven't been down there, haven't paid that much attention. Tracks in the snow, very few cat tracks, lots of mice tracks. So, just curious.
That's two different sides of town.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, it's like, I don't know, from, what's that, 14 blocks apart or something, if you count them when you're walking. I mean, there are a few more cats down on the 11th. There are a few tracks in the yard, and you occasionally see a cat. You know, you can definitely tell they're somebody's house cat, because they're slick and shiny and come up to you and talk to you. And stuff, so.
We got a possum over where I live.
Yeah, he's been down in my yard, a time or two, you know.
I've
Scared
had
of
possum
mice
in my
too.
garbage before too.
And you can thank Cindy and I's great-grandfather for possum. He had them shipped up here from North Carolina. But, yeah, I'm just concerned about, I don't really mind mice as bad as some people, but I know Cindy's gonna get really upset if they get in that Cadillac.
Move the Cadillac.
I got the Cadillac in the garage, and I don't have anywhere else to put it. That's why it's in Uncle Skeeter's garage. It's the tightest building we've got.
An exterminator might be the.
Well, but I've talked to a couple of other ladies in the neighborhood, and they're like, yeah, in the last couple of months, mice in the trash cans. And they're little stinky mice. They're not pretty little field mice. They're little
shrews.
They're the little regular town house mice. But I also don't want to poison these mice and, them get out of the garage or whatever and, kill somebody's pet because they've ate. I'm using some pretty good stuff from the Wheatland Pest because I can get it. It's 24-hour knockdown. So.
So how long you been using that?
A month.
And
They're carnivorous little creatures. They eat their own. They're cleaning themselves up.
like
So they're like prairie dogs. So, but I'm still, I get rid of them and I'm getting new ones. But I had the gas company come down because I could smell this smell in the furnace when we turned it on, kind of in November. It smelled a little like roast meat, roasting rice. I thought, okay, we got a belt slipping. So in this last snowstorm, I was looking out the bedroom window, and this has high windows, so I have to stand on a chair. But I was looking out the window to see the blowing snow go by. And there's mice on the air conditioner leaping up into that pipe. So they're just roasting in the pipe. It's not an unpleasant smell, but it's, it's not like a dead mouse in your house. It's just like a roasted little piece of beef or something. I don't know. It's combination of rice and beef roasting.
Wow.
It's weird, but I did, after 2 trips to the gas company down there trying to figure out what I thought was slipping or burning in that new furnace. Because I was there last winter, we didn't have that smell in the house occasionally. It's occasionally. So, but I saw one run around on top of the air conditioner, leap on those pipes that come out of the side of the house. So I think they're going in there to get warm. I've lived out in the country. I feel like it's all kinds of rodents and issues and stuff. I never saw that before.
Wow.
And this is it's a whole block or neighborhood issue?
Well, I don't know the people in the neighborhood really well to go visit with them. Because I moved in from out in the country at Uncle Skeeter's house. Well, I'm renovating mine down at 1506 11th. And yes, I will get the mattress and box springs out of my front yard at some point. When I can lift it. I can't lift it. So, but I've never, just never had that in town except for that big rat ant shot and took up and thrown the deck. So, public.
You have your public,
Yeah, we got a minute.
But I thank you for your time.
put a piece of wire over that, Ben?
I did. I put some window screen over the intake and the exhaust.
I could send this big cat over.
Uma. Uma.
I'm sorry about that.
It's something different, but never had that.
You might have to get with your neighbors and do a group poisoning.
Well, part of my neighbors are not there year round. So.
You don't see anybody in your neighborhood that has an excessive amount of trash or anything?
No, my neighborhood is it's one of the cleanest ones. Now, if you was down here at my house, yeah, you could blame me for having some places for stuff to live. But this one down there, no, this neighborhood is.
Just watch the Mousetrap movie.
I'm gonna have to watch it. Cindy told me to come talk to you guys about it. She said, if it gets to be, she said once before there was a problem all over town and they had to do a little, had to have weed and pest do a little work, so. Years and years ago.
Good topic, I mean,
Only one town.
You go from one extreme to another.
exactly.
You did go to weed and pest, they know about
I've got an applicator's license from living out in the country, so I just went out and told them I needed some of the 24-hour knockdown packets that cost 74 cents a piece. And I bought 6 thinking that'd be enough. I won't have to go back.
All right, 7:30, we need to exit the regular meeting for a public hearing on liquor licenses. We need a motion for that, don't we?
No, you must go into public hearing.
Okay. We go into the public hearing. I think we'll just run through this and kind of do them by groups. So, just to renew the liquor license for the restaurant liquor license group to include Los Dominguez and Tasty Treats. Do we have anyone to speak for or against? Hearing no one, I would entertain a motion to approve the restaurant liquor license group.
Make a motion to approve the restaurant liquor license group, Group B.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Moving on to the club liquor licenses to include the Moose Lodge and the Wheatland Golf Club. Motion in a second, please.
Make a motion to approve the club liquor licenses.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or public comment for or against? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Going to the retail liquor license group to include the Landmark Bar, Vimbo's Restaurant and Bar, Commodore Bar, I-25 Pit Stop, Safeway, Big A, Big Dong Lanes, and Guadalajara's. Would entertain a motion in a second.
Make a motion to approve the retail liquor licenses for those 8.
Second.
Is there any discussion or public comment for or against? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Moving to the bar and grill liquor license grouping to include Windy Peaks Brewery and Steakhouse and Nessie's Restaurant and Whiskey Bar.
Mayor, can I just make one comment so I can have it in the minutes? So Nessie's Restaurant and Whiskey Bar, last July, the council approved their license. There's been no activity there, and that's okay with the Liquor Association. They do need to get with the planner on a rezone, because within a year they needed to continue business in order for it to not be rezoned. So that information is now with the Liquor Association. And I will need to work with them on their plans in the future, so we don't continue to approve a license for a bar and grill that's not being used. So I will get with them and get their plan, their future plan.
What do they have, a 12-month window? So by July we need to know something or something like that? Isn't that
Yeah,
it?
I think I need to work with a little bit more with the Liquor Commission, because I haven't had one of these come up because they do not have a food permit, or, there's no near future plan to operate.
So just move with it for now, okay? So again, entertain a motion in a second.
Motion to approve the bar and grill licenses.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there further discussion or any public comment for or against? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And lastly, the microbrewery grouping to include Windy Peaks Brewery and Steakhouse. Entertain a motion in a second.
Make a motion to approve microbrewery license to Windy Peaks Brewery and Steakhouse.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any comment or public comment for or against?
Are they getting caught up? Wasn't this license, was the state lacking the?
That was the previous year. They're up to date.
They're up to date. Okay, just want to make sure I knew at one time they
Yes.
were.
Any other public comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Do we need a motion to go back into the regular meeting? Just move back into the regular meeting?
Yeah, just to adjourn the public hearing.
Okay, we will adjourn the public hearing and reconvene the regular meeting. Kathy, that's an interesting point that you bring up. I'm not sure that I have an answer for you, but definitely merits the information share, and I appreciate that. And keep us posted on your success or lack thereof going forward, if you would, please.
I thought I had it handled, and then I discovered I didn't have it handled, so. Little buggers.
You can see their trails in the snow
That gets me in trouble.
outside.
I'm the person that called the cops down to my neighborhood 15 times for the gunfire. They never got it handled. It's still happening. I quit complaining. I mean, big gunfire in my neighborhood. 270s.
Someone's shooting in your neighborhood?
Yeah, been going on since
Summer.
all summer. I've called the cops down there umpteen times.
Chief, would you like to make a comment on that?
Yeah, because I responded down there a couple times when I was working night shifts this last end of summer, whenever I was working on. Never did find anything. None of the other neighbors were reporting anything of gunfire. So nothing was ever found or corroborated.
There's 2 ladies in my neighborhood that are afraid of retaliation if they call. I'm not that afraid. I got a gun. I'm not afraid of, calling the cops on them. The other 2 ladies, they're older and they are afraid of retaliation. I'm just worried where the bullets are coming down at. They got going up, they're coming down somewhere. But I gave up.
Maybe they're shooting at the balloons.
That'd make
A little
sense.
humor here, Kathy. Come on.
That'd make sense.
Very little.
It just recently?
It went, the other day it was nice and cold and somebody, of course it's cold, it's a little harder to tell how big it is when it's really cold, but they popped a good one. I think that one came from over across the street on 16th. There's one house over there that when the cops roll, their lights go out. But it's a pattern. It's either one shot or 2. So
My neighborhood has been infiltrated by the starlings, and I've contemplated going out.
Starlings I have a remedy for.
Through the tree
Last
there.
year, Mexico red chili.
Not with a high-powered rifle, but anyway, I was just curious if you.
But it's always 2 shots or 1 shot. Maybe I watch too much TV. But I'm thinking that you can come pick up your load of drugs or you don't come pick them up. Because it's regular, it's on a pattern. So if I'm rolling the cops over to 16th, then that's freeing up the rest of the town to do whatever. But I gave up calling. It's just a waste of the cops' resource and time. Because I realize somebody stepping out on their porch, firing a gun 2 shots, there's no way you're ever gonna catch them.
Well, is there any other public comment? Hearing none, we'll move on to unfinished business. Item number 1, ordinance 839, which is amending portions of the municipal code 6.05 animals on second reading. For the purpose of discussion, I would entertain a motion.
I would make motion to approve ordinance number 839, second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there discussion on ordinance 839, second reading?
I have a question. Didn't we vote on raising the fees for license?
I didn't have that in my notes and
I didn't have it on my ordinance either.
but we can add it now.
You can add it, you can add that stuff on up until the final reading.
Do you recall that? I
Well,
can't find it in my notes either.
Well, I know we talked about the idea of going from 2 and 7 to 5 and 10 or something. I don't know.
You can make that
I don't know if we ever landed on what that would be to be anything official. Maybe is what
Or just
the problem is.
leave alone for now.
I'm good either way. I mean,
Up to you.
I
We
paid.
can add it, I mean, is it $2 now?
$2 now. And Brandon, I think you mentioned you were thinking what Torrington was doing at that workshop that we had on the cats. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, well,
It's like,
refresh me on that one.
I think it was $10 or something that Torrington was charging to license. I think maybe that might be too much if people have 4 or 5 cats or dogs. They
Well,
might not get them licensed that way.
Dogs are at 8 now.
Well, right now they're at $2. It's $2 to license.
$2
If they're neutered,
fixed.
$7.
Or 7 if they're intact.
$7 if they're not neutered, or
Altered.
Altered. Yeah,
altered.
altered. That's the word.
Okay.
Altered.
so what if we just double it to like $4 and 14?
14 for Fluffy.
Non-altered,
Non-altered.
and $4 for altered.
Yeah.
It was probably discussed and just not included in the motion, that's why it wasn't on.
And I only raised the question here.
And I'm good either way. I mean, I can see the concern or the idea with the comments that if it's too much, then people just won't do it.
Then we're in trouble,
Certain
guys.
percent don't do it now, but those that do, it's affordable enough that they continue. So, I mean, I good either way. I mean, you generate a little more money, but maybe well enough's a loan too. I don't know. I'm good either way. Whatever
I'd
you
say
guys
leave
think.
it alone. What do you
Leave
think?
it alone.
The rates the way they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get enough pushback as it is, if you hit them in the pocket. They don't ease into it.
The way the economy is now.
Yep, fine.
It was only a question.
Not a good question.
Okay. Where are we at?
I got a second discussion.
Yeah. Any other discussion? All right. All in favor of ordinance 839 on second reading, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Item number 2 is CEPI engineering agreement for the Black Mountain water storage tank.
We had some issues with it, and it was on waiver of damages and limiting the engineer's liability on that water tower, and so I struck that out. They provided some new language. I think we're getting real close to where we need to be. I don't have any issue with, if you guys don't, with the understanding that we'll get it to a form that I'm okay with, then we could have the mayor execute. A couple of other things, on page 9, if you have that in front of you. On 4.01C, and it's kind of their responsibility to hopefully get in their vouchers in, payment vouchers in time. So they struck out the interest. I had a date certain that they needed it in, but I think they just struck out the interest. Because we always pay our bills, it's just if you get them in late, we don't get them paid.
Yeah, they got to line up with the cycle.
And Candy and Tabitha tried to, even if they got it in late, like on Friday, they tried to get it on in the list and you guys could approve it, but I just struck that in case they messed up and did that. The other one was the compensation on paragraph 4.01E. It shall not exceed 600. They had it estimated at $38,000, and it will not exceed that amount, which means they're going to tap you for the full thing. Let's be honest. And then, on page 12, paragraph H, I struck that one, and they've agreed to that.
Waiver of damages.
Yeah, they wanted to limit their liability. And when they talk about entitlement to special, incidental, indirect, or consequential damages arising, well, that's everything. I mean,
Yeah.
if that water tower blew out after it was designed, under their theory, you wouldn't have to pay it. Or if we found something, or somebody did, they wanted to limit their damages to $100,000 or the compensation they received, so we limited it to $630. That's struck out. And then they provided in paragraphs M, N, O, P, and Q on page 13 now, liability insurance is not less than $1 million. I wanted workman's comp for their guys if they got hurt out there, automobile liability, commercial liability, and they provide a certificate of insurance. And they've been, Candy just emailed it to them. They've been really good about it. I'd like to up their professional liability a little bit. I'll see if they, and they probably have more than that. I just want to see what they have.
Is that for contractors and subs?
They'll have it. This is just the engineers, and then when they do the plans and the bids, Councilman Allison, they'll have all that in there. They'll have liability insurance and stuff. So that's where we're at. I don't have any problem if you're okay with that we get it in final form.
You said subsection M, N, and.
You don't have it. They just sent this to me.
Okay.
You don't, they added those, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
And that's all their insurance, M through Q. Insurance and then, workman's comp, insurance with their vehicles and stuff. And I think Candy'd like it approved conditionally, just so we can keep moving on it, so we can go forward with.
So the verbiage in the motion would be, once the agreement is made, then have the mayor sign.
Execute it once it's agreeable. And honestly, we'll send it out to you once we get the final form, so you can take a look at it.
So make a motion to accept the contract with corrections between town mayor or town attorney Weaver and CEPI. Will that work?
Yes, it will.
Second. All right, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Moving on to new business, item number 1, resolution 04-2023 for a fire apparatus fund.
So during budget time, council budgeted for $30,000 to set up a fire apparatus fund, so that's what this is.
So it's there already, correct?
Excuse me?
Monies are there already?
Yes. And we did include in the resolution that we could add to the fund as needed.
You can add additional funds
Or
withdraw
with,
funds.
or withdraw.
Or withdraw.
Or withdraw.
So we need a motion to approve?
Yep.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 04-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. New business item number 2, which is a memorandum of agreement with Condrey and Associates Incorporated for a salary wage survey.
During budget time, we also budgeted for a wage survey. So Tabitha has been really good at contacting other municipalities and such to see who they have used. Several communities in Wyoming have used this company, and they have agreed to, on our short timeline, help us get it before budget is approved. Attorney Weaver had some concerns on the payment dates, and so they have changed the payment date where it's June 30th after the
Final product.
final product.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay half of it up front, and then, the other half after it's completed. I was more concerned that if we paid them, they'd maybe not complete it. I don't think they would, but it'd give them a way that could slow it down.
Sure.
They'll look at our job descriptions, talk with, work mainly with probably the chief and Tabitha and myself and department heads.
Make a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement with Condrey and Associates, salary wage survey.
Second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, sign. Motion will carry. New business item number 3 is the bid approval for the south substation transformer. I believe that information was on the bench in front of you.
I'm sorry, apologize for it not being in your packets, but I didn't receive it until late Friday afternoon. Exponential Engineering is our electrical engineers, and together they have reviewed all the bids along with Continue and Electric Department, and they recommend Virginia is the name of the company. It's like Virginia, Georgia. It's, 70 weeks out is the transformer, but $712,400. This is part of our 10-year plan on increasing the voltage. And so this is in the plan. We will need to amend the budget before the end of the fiscal year to cover, because we have to pay 30% when we order, 30% when they do the drawings, the balance when it arrives.
30-30-40 split.
And this will confirm our pricing.
Entertain a motion for the Exponential Engineering recommendation of Virginia for the transformer for the south substation.
And it's with no LTC, because there's two. And it's $712,400.
Make a motion to approve Exponential Engineering Company's recommendation with the no LTC transformer from Virginia for $712,400.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Agenda item H, which is announcements, which would be that the next regularly scheduled monthly council meeting will be March 13th at 7 o'clock right here. Are there any other announcements, Candy, that you know of? All right, and I see we have executive session, so.
And it's for the purpose of looking at contract. Looking at the contract. Jeez.
Mike? You're looking at me.
You asked the question.
Yeah.
So somebody decide adjourning to executive session.
Did somebody move and second it?
So,
Some of,
So moved. We have a
Second.
Got a move and a second. All in favor of going into executive session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
When I get back.
Give people a few minutes to clear out and tell me a bathroom break.
Top five or the one right after.
Nice pool.
We'll have to do that here. Hell no. We don't have a meeting tomorrow, do we?
We can, you made them, I just.
We don't have a meeting tomorrow.
Thank you.
We have some time.
Well, I think that's
That's what I thought. We hadn't heard, we usually hear from you.
I tried to. And that'll be for the next one.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's until tomorrow.
Everyone,
I think we'll be on forum to affect. For our March meeting.
Okay. Okay. So something may roll.